Welcome to the Warsaw Narrative, the first English language podcast dedicated to the history of Warsaw. I would like to thank Michał Wójcik for writing this episode. Michał is a historian and writer known for his non-fiction historical books, including the award-winning Made in Poland. My personal favorite is his lightning-fast historical guide to Warsaw. While walking around Warsaw, you've probably noticed plaques with crosses and sometimes a distinctive symbol, PW. The letter P joined with W stands for Polska Walcząca, Fighting Poland. Wherever this symbol is carved into stone or placed on a wall, it always means one thing in our city. At this spot, during the war, the Polish underground did something heroic. Perhaps it was an attack on the German occupiers, a bloody skirmish, or even a battle. On August 1st, 1944, an uprising broke out in Warsaw against the Germans. Tens of thousands of members of the Polish resistance, called the Home Army, Armia Krajowa, and several other organizations decided to fight. The Warsaw Uprising lasted 63 days. It ended in defeat, but remains a symbol of the Polish people's love of freedom. Over the decades, thousands of books have been written about it and many films have been made. It might seem like everything about the uprising is already known. But is it? One unknown event during the uprising is a revolver duel, as if lifted straight from the Wild West or the 18th century, when gentlemen settled their disputes on the field of honor. It was September 1944. German troops were attacking Polish positions on Puławska Street. Today, it's one of Warsaw's main roads. It was back then too, though lined with more elegant villas and small palaces than today. During the attack, a massive hole was blasted by the Germans into the wall of one house. A Polish soldier stepped into the opening. He was well known in his unit and went by the code name Wariat, or the Madman. Most importantly, he wasn't Polish, but French. He was in Warsaw when the uprising broke out and joined the fight. When his position was attacked by the Germans, his response was a bit strange. He stood in the large opening in the wall and shouted towards the Germans, asking if there was an honorable officer among them. A German officer stepped forward, weapon raised, and asked what this was about. The Frenchman, speaking only in French, proposed that instead of further bloodshed, they should settle the matter with a duel. The German officer agreed. 5 minutes later, the two soldiers stepped into the middle of Puławska Street. The German officer's name is not known. The Polish side was represented by the 26-year-old Frenchman, Jean Gaspereau, the Madman. He was a very colorful character. He didn't speak Polish, so he communicated with his fellow fighters using gestures. He also didn't care much about military discipline. Once, when German tanks were firing at a barricade, he distracted them by walking out into the middle of the road unarmed. Instead, he held a large, colorful umbrella over his head, walking around as if he was on a beach. The German tank crews were so fascinated by the sight that they stopped their attack, giving the Poles time to regroup. Now, Jean Gaspereau stood 100 meters from the German officer, aiming his long-barreled parabellum pistol. His opponent had the same weapon. The Frenchman fired first, but missed. Now, the German officer, also a miss. A few steps forward, the distance is now 90 meters. Fire. Missed again. Same for the German. Missed. Third try. Jean took aim and still missed. Last chance for the German officer. He focused and fired. But the Frenchman was still standing. After firing 3 shots each, both gentlemen agreed that this was enough. The duel, in accordance with the Code of Honor, had taken place. The battle could now continue. The Germans attacked again soon after, but were stopped. And the Frenchman, what happened to him? He was never captured. After the end of the uprising, he left Warsaw as a civilian and managed to make it back to France. From there, he disappears. All that remained in Warsaw was the legend of the fearless madman who was not afraid of bullets. Thank you for listening and take care.